Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pilots 101, where we talk about the pilot episode of TV shows we like. Hi, I am Chris Quintos, and as ever, hosted with my beautiful co-host,
Oh my gosh,
Lisa.
Lisa T, thank you so much. I love being introduced as beautiful.
Yeah. Girl, yeah, co-host and friend, I should say. Lifelong friend.
We are co-friends.
We are co-friends, co-hosts, best hosts forever.
Best host forever.
Yes. We
Oh my gosh.
did just
Well,
I wanted to go just like opposite. I was like, let's just take like the clear opposite of what we just did. So
Yes.
Lisa threw out living single, and that's what we did. That's what we did, girl.
That's what we did. And you know what? I was just saying
that show's from 1993.
Oh, and I was going to say too, we came in hard at the episode, just female friendship, much like this show, which is just a love letter to everyone who's ever had a girlfriend who you either lived with or super close with, who you could tell everything to. So basically anybody.
Yeah. So basically humans. Oh, that's back to our first episode. If you don't know about living single,
get into it. Get into that 90s kind of world.
Yeah. I'm glad I got my girls. Theme song by Queen Latifah, also starring.
She's at her. You are watching her become a TV star in this show, because she'd already conquered rap, UNITY. I mean, she was just killing the game as a musical artist, and then she brings that same Latifah feminist energy to her character. And oh my God, Flavor Magazine. I loved Flavor Magazine back in the day.
Yeah, it's just such a good show. Half-hour comedy. I watched it on Hulu.
Yes.
I think you can, I don't know where else. I feel
like it might only be on Hulu. And the reason is
special.
Because I think for a really long time it wasn't streaming. It was, I can't remember what the holdout was for that, but oh my gosh, this is such a great pilot. You really, first of all, we are in the heyday of the multicam.
1993.
1993.
And I just want to just say, like, it just starts with code switching. That's how it starts. It starts with a code switch. Which I love.
And like she just the most aggressive code switch, because it's not just that she puts on white voice, she's a British lady.
Right, that's right. It's Sinclair. Miss Sinclair does that. She answers the phone as
a chimney
Flavor
sweep?
Magazine's receptionist / chimney sweep. And then Miss Latifah tells her to cut it out. And
it's perfect.
Or no, make it sound like we need money. That's what she says. Make it sound like we need money. And then she just code switches it up. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's just great.
I love it.
Then you know where you stand.
Yeah. Well, you know that, like, okay, Sinclair is going to be the foil for Khadijah, because that is her cousin. That is her goofy cousin from the country. She is the Rose Nyland of the group. Just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, so innocent. And then you've got Khadijah, who immediately is so jaded. Like, there's such a
Dorothy.
Yes, she's Dorothy Zbornak. Dorothy Zbornak with more rhythm and a rap career.
Right. Yes, that's exactly that. I wrote that. I wrote Rose Nyland right on there. That's so funny. And what I wrote was, oh no, that's for Max, who I feel like is my favorite character. I'm just gonna go right in.
The shoulder pads, the braided bob, the aggressive feminism, the man hating. As a young woman, I just adored her.
My favorite. Yeah. I wrote Miranda before Miranda was Miranda.
The better Miranda.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Like, because that was um Sex and the City was 1998. I had to look all this stuff up because I was like, okay, you were saying this like sort of the heyday of that style of show. We were talking about Golden Girls, but from like a character perspective, like
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I mean, all these shows are kind of on top of each other, you
Yeah.
know. Um,
Well, Golden
but
Girls
yeah,
I think
like
was first, and then Living
yes,
Single.
because correct.
The pilots are very similar. Blanche goes on a
Ye-
date with a guy who she finds out later is married.
Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna have to rewatch that. 1985 was Golden Girls. I looked all this up because I was like, because I wrote Miranda before Miranda was Miranda, and Friends before Friends was Friends.
Yes,
Because that was 94.
and also Friends featured a bunch of white people with no jobs and
Mm.
fabulous apartments, and
Mm-hmm.
these were high-powered
Mm-hmm.
black women who had jobs, highly educated, and still had roommates. And it's just black
It just
excellence
speaks to
versus,
the
I don't
yeah,
want to say white
black excellence.
mediocrity, but
Exactly.
also, the lower
Just say it.
expectations. Let's call it being whimsical. That's my, you know what? I feel like I might be doing like some coded weird racial profiling of white people because
Oh
I
yeah,
say
yeah,
things
yeah.
like, "Oh, they're
Whimsical.
so whimsical." That's like my version of being like, "They're so urban." I'm like, that one loves to
Yeah,
just wear capri
I
pants
love
and
that.
fly
I
a
think that's
kite.
great. Yeah, I think that's great. We need that. We need that. Yeah, it's just funny. That's so funny. I didn't even think about it that way, but that is like uh race studies with Lisa T 101. Like, come
Girl, well, all
on.
well, the
That's
thing
great.
thank you. Well, the thing too is this is my era because I'm 41 years old.
Mm,
I was 13 in 1993. So when this show came
mm-hmm.
out, I was like, oh, because I was on an army base in Germany, so we only had one channel. So whatever was on was what we were watching. I am not even kidding you. So I went through the progression of the Cosby Show to A Different World to Living
Yeah.
Single, like, and I remember thinking,
Yeah.
this is what life is going to be like. And
Ah.
if you've
Ah. Ah.
ever,
Ah. Ah.
the roommate, this was like ahead of its time too, because like now look at
Yeah.
how normalized it is to have roommates
Oh
in
yeah.
these
It
major
was ahead of
metropolitan
its time.
areas. Yes, I I loved this show. When you picked it, I was just like, or no, I picked it, but
Yeah.
you suggested a throwback.
I
I
did.
was
I
like, this is one of
suggested a
my
throwback.
faves.
Yes. I think what's so funny just on the heels of Resident Alien, like how this was just a completely different show.
So
The
different.
sitcoms and that time, it was so referential. Like every other line is a current reference.
Well,
You
and a
know, like
joke. I mean, this
and a
is a
joke.
joke machine,
Yes.
and you've got a live audience, and you have these actors who have to perform for a live audience. So that's a real
Yeah.
special skill set, and they
And the
crushed
live
it.
track, the laugh track. I kind of like because I haven't watched like a throwback in a while, so I was just like, oh
Hmm.
my gosh,
You have to
what a
adjust.
different what a different time. Yeah, you totally have to just, but it holds up. I mean, those are little cosmetic things that we could like if they were to you know, boot this, which my God, we live in reboot times. So like maybe I don't know.
We had some technical
Yeah,
difficulties,
who doesn't?
guys. The both of us got really animated about living single, but now we're back on track. I also, who we haven't discussed yet,
Please.
who is another amazing character, is Regine.
Oh, yes. She's the yeah,
Regine,
she's who it happens around the story. The pretty much. She's the plot, as
yes,
we call
exactly. She's
it.
the Monica. She is the A story
Right.
because
She's the A
Regine
plot.
has a date with Brad. Also,
Right.
I don't know if I fully forgot that her like catchphrase was smooches.
Ah! Kim Coles, I mean, yeah, she'd had, I don't, I actually don't know about like, oh no, I'm sorry, Kim Fields. I don't
Oh, I
know.
miss up my Kims.
Yeah, I know. She is from, I'm just gonna like, just so I, oh,
Oh wait, I'm totally she was Tootie. On The Facts of
Yes.
Life. The Facts of
Thank
Life.
you.
I remember her as Tootie.
Thank you.
She was a very successful child actress. So we had never, Tootie was so innocent and sweet and a young, a
Yes.
little girl, that character. So to see her taking on this very sexually powerful woman, like the Samantha,
The
the
Samantha. Yes.
Blanche
Before
of the
Samantha was
group.
Samantha. Yes.
Yes. Samantha before Samantha, Karen Walker before Karen Walker. Like this character archetype has always been one of my
Yes.
favorites. She's just so
Yeah.
glamour.
A Blanche Devereaux in her own
Yes.
right. Yeah. Totally. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. She comes to this show being like a seasoned actor,
Yeah.
TV actor.
A seasoned
Yeah.
multicam sitcom actor.
Exactly.
So
And she is just
yeah,
so good.
she already knew how to work an audience. She's so good. She's so fun. She has my Aunt Tina's hair from the 90s. The wigs. Because here's another thing that I didn't fully appreciate until I was an
Yeah.
adult and, looking back and reading and seeing the trends. This was a Black woman who openly discussed wearing wigs, buying hair. Like she was being very, just very open about her hair. And I think I saw a documentary actually about the series where she made the conscious decision to wear wigs, that this character would wear wigs. And it was such it, and her hairstyles and the fact that they would change so dramatically between scenes throughout the course of the series was really her. That was a character choice.
It was like a very
made.
empowering move. It was great.
The wiggery.
It's so good. She's just she's one of my faves too. I mean, well, they all are. It's hard to pick because it's such a strong cast of characters. Yeah. But I also appreciated, I mean, I don't think this came to me at the time, but like if this was at a time when like Kate Moss, I think, is like the body that is like all over all billboards.
Heroin chic.
Yeah. And so it was just like seeing, Kim Fields, like and all these women, just like different body types, like more things that I'm more used to, just like a curvy woman.
Different skin tones.
Yeah. Like
being unabashedly Black.
Right. Yeah. Which when
Khadijah is wearing her Howard University shirt.
Amazing. Yeah. In that scene.
And she was going to have Maya Angelou on the cover of Flavor magazine.
It was so good.
Yo, can we just talk about if that photo shoot had happened? Like I love Maya. Give me poetic, give me wise, but also sultry.
That would be such a good that would have been such a good tag or something to have that actually happen. I mean, that is such a good. Yeah, unabashedly Black, which is just like, at the time we didn't have a lot of that. Like, I think I mentioned.
No, well, it's
maybe I watched
we had
Living Color.
Well, yes, In Living Color was around the same time. I mean, I get so nostalgic for this era of the 90s because hip hop was, becoming popular and mainstream, as you see here. And then like hip hop from the 90s, like I don't think the kids understand. Like we danced with energy. Like there was no coolness. There was like that dancer at the beginning where she's just giving you like Rosie Perez at the Soul Train, it was a bold bright colors, wearing big jeans backwards. It was a vibe. And the consciousness of hip hop and rap from that time of like really being, because I always remember like De La Soul and Queen Latifah, being very having like a message and just being very, like I remember the leather Africa necklaces, people being really conscientious. It was a really fun time. I think
it was definitely a vibe. Yeah, and then I mean, just to that, where she kind of the very last joke is like, what would it be like if there were no men?
And Khadijah, aka Dorothy Zbornak, says a bunch of fat, happy women and no crime. And I'm still wondering, Where's the
Yeah.
lie?
And, like, when do we get there? Like, are we gonna get that? Oh my gosh. I hope
Well, I
so.
well, speaking of that joke, here's another thing. So because it is a
Yeah.
multicam, the most people who maybe younger didn't really get into like it's very possible there's a generation of people who haven't watched that many
Right.
multicams. What you have to understand is there's less subtlety in the performances, of
Sure.
course. There's a bigness to it, and also there is just these are joke
Yeah.
machines. Joke, 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 joke. And if you've ever been on a set watching this be filmed, because it is live, you're telling the joke, you're hearing how it lands with the audience. The writer's sitting there. If the joke doesn't work, you give them the alt and you just
Wow.
keep going and going. So it is such a finely honed process of like just joke, joke, joke. Because now, we see, if you see like a weak multicam, you're just like, ugh, the production value, ugh, the laugh track. But when you see it being done the way it's supposed to be done, like this, some of these jokes I had to
Please.
repeat just was when Sinclair says something really unhelpful, and Khadijah just gives her the most withering
Yes.
Khadijah look and says, just when we thought it was safe to let you back in the
Yes, I
conversation.
loved that one. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I
The other
Yeah,
line I
please.
loved was when Overton, trying to be a part of the
Overton.
conversation, said that he had once dated a married woman. As soon as they ask him, oh, did you really? He says, nah, I'm just lying, trying to get attention again. These lines are so the jokes are great. The chemistry between the cast is
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, Overton and
Oh
Kyle.
my gosh.
Every single
Speaking of
the
friends, yeah.
character study on this show. Oh my
Yeah,
god. The character study, because you're planting all of these relationships where you have like these characters who are diametrically opposed to each other. You got Khadijah, sort of the opposite of her is
right,
Sinclair, and then also another opposite of her is
right.
Regine. Because Khadijah, we know if you've ever watched the series, she gets to date a lot of very lovely, sexy men who come through her life, unlike Elaine Bettis, who got shafted, except for Putty. Anyways, but you see that, like, she's not overly sexual. She's the more buttoned down
Right.
Dorothy's born. So everyone's got
Oh my
next scene,
gosh.
Waters, attorney at
Love
law.
her. I love her.
So I wrote as a note, she roars into the scene like a
Yes.
hurricane.
Yeah, she really does.
She does. Any sort of subtlety or diplomacy that you see in Khadijah, Max is the
Right.
opposite.
Yeah.
She is a train just barreling
Giving you the
down,
truth.
and her little counter giving you too
Yeah,
much
yeah.
truth in all those
Right.
shoulder pads.
Yes,
Those shoulder
exactly.
pads. Oh my god, that profile. She had that
Oh my
big.
gosh. Yeah, and her suits are fabulous. Like it just oh my gosh.
Her
That's
suits are
totally what I thought
fabulous.
like I wanted to be when I grew up, for sure. Like I was just like,
I thought that's what lawyers
yeah.
just did. They they destroyed men's
Right.
lives and then hung out with their
Yes.
girlfriends and flirted with
And flirted with
Kyle.
Kyle, yeah, in a deep purple lip. Like that's what I thought it was gonna be. I wanted every part of it. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, Overton
It's
is probably like when we say these like archetypes, like these comedic archetypes, where it's like he's kind of the dumb one. I guess Sinclair also, but she's like more of the like
he
out of this world character. Like she's like a little bit
yes, yes, like a
weird.
little country
Yeah,
bumpkin. Overton to me reminds me of, another wonderful sitcom pilot that we will explore as well at some point. Woody Harrelson's
in chair.
character from
Yes, in
Cheers,
chairs.
Woody.
Yes.
And the bright-eyed, just in love with
Yeah.
Sinclair.
Naive and
The
honest.
friendships, naive and honest. Can we also discuss the fact that these are two men with platonic friendships with a bunch of
Yeah.
women?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Kyle and Maxine have like the sexual
Oh,
tension, and
so
Sinclair
good.
and Overton have
Yeah.
the sexual tension. But it was so. I just I was kind of not in the best mood, and then I watched the show right before we did the podcast, and I have to tell you, it made me so happy. It reminded me how much I loved these
Yes.
characters,
Yeah.
because it's the characters that really
It was
sell the
really
show.
hard to like not watch just like let it run and just like keep going,
Yeah,
just binge
girl.
a little bit. I probably will.
I legit almost missed our
Yeah, I
call.
probably will after this. I was like, to be honest, because it just was like I just wanted more. Like, I mean, that's kind of the like the success of a pilot is like, do you just want to keep going? You know, like
Yes.
do you just want to like
Mm-hmm.
see this world again? Which for this show,
Yes.
absolutely, for sure. Yeah. We aren't the
Yes.
kind of show that
I would
gives
say
stars, but you know, if we were, it'd be like 20 million.
if we were 20 million, 20 million
Yeah.
stars on a scale from 1 to whatever I feel like this
Right.
morning.
Yeah. It's just so good. It's just so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Come for the jokes, stay for the
oh,
nostalgia and the
the
fashion.
fashion.
The
Yeah.
fashion. Oh my God, Kyle had on a pair of these awesome high-waisted pleated pants, I believe.
Ah,
Suspenders in one pattern,
yes.
a tie in a totally different pattern.
Yes.
It was just, and the fun thing is, a lot of these are coming back.
Yeah.
It's like when in the 90s when we saw the 70s fashion coming back with like the
Right.
bell bottoms and like the hippie stuff.
Yeah.
It is trippy as heck. Like, kids, watch this to get some ideas on how to start something trending,
Yeah.
because
Because it's about time.
you
Like it
never
comes
know.
that cycle is about that length of time.
Yeah. We need some shoulder pads. We need some
Oh yeah.
suspenders with
We're
patterns
done
on
with the
them.
skinny jean. I mean, we've already been told that over and over, which I'm like fine with. It
I literally just read that and I just was like, as a child of the grunge era, I'm just gonna keep doing what I
right.
did
I just
before.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, let my calves
This
breathe. Just like I'm fine with it.
shoot, do I need to put on some Jinkos? Is
Yeah.
that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, I have some wide leg pants in my collection. That is for sure. Well, thanks
Yes,
for joining us for another
ma'am.
week of this unbelievable show, I think, in my opinion.
It,
um
I
yeah.
agree. I think it fully holds up. And if you're rewatching it, it's going to take you down memory lane. If you're
Mm.
watching it for the first time, you might be surprised by how
Yes.
good this is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you can find us on literally every social, but start by following us. I'm at Chris Q at Chris at Chris Q, and you are
I am at Timmons Lisa on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and
girl.
YouTube, I think. But also, we are at Pilots 101 Podcast, wherever you are looking.
That's right. Thanks, guys.